Hello, folks, and welcome to the 411. I'm your guest host for this week, Bob Seifert, out of retirement for 1 week. And 1 week alone, and why is that? Well, folks, we are in the middle of the Sydney Autumn Carnival, the Randwick portion of the Sydney Autumn Carnival, and I'm here for some tremendous racing tonight. That's right, when the Randwick and the Rose Hill portion of the carnival, not to confuse you, are paired together, you're going to have 17 graded stakes races over $21 million in purses. So it's a tremendous time to be racing in Sydney. And there are 4 graded stakes races on the card tonight from Sydney, including the feature, the Group 1 Randwick Guineas. And it's a huge field, and we have an overwhelming favorite in the field tonight, so my mouth is watering. Can't wait for that. Track B tonight is Moonee Valley. No stakes races carded there, but we do have the best metro racing in all of Victoria there tonight. And I'll be back again to take a closer look here in just a few minutes at Track A Randwick Racecourse. Hey folks, Bob Seifert back with you to take a closer look at Track A Randwick tonight. And it is located in Sydney. To be more specific, it's located in the Sydney Business District, and even more specific than that, in the suburb of Randwick. That's right, Randwick is located, surprisingly, in Randwick. Now this is a large racing venue, 1 3/8 mile circumference and track, wide, spacious turns. It's a legendary track. They've been racing there over 160 years, and they do run in the clockwise direction. Randwick, not a particularly good wet track, so luckily today shouldn't have any problems with moisture. The forecast, partly cloudy, and a high of 73 degrees. I'll be back in just a few minutes right before 1B to take a look at Moonee Valley, but before then we've got 1A, and folks, I'm kind of looking at number 4, God's Hand, here in 1A. We'll see you in just a bit. Hello folks, Bob Seifert back with you to take a closer look at Track B, Moonee Valley, or as I like to call it, Money Valley. That's right, Moonee Valley, located in Melbourne, home of the Cox Plate, one of the top 2 or 3 races in all of Australia. Moonee Valley is a smaller metro track, only 1 1/8 miles in circumference, that is, and the straight not too long either, less than 2 furlongs. So you got a nice advantage when you're handicapping there for the early speed. The weather today in Melbourne, not as good as in Sydney. On the other side of the world, we're going through spring, they're going through autumn. And today it's a little more challenging there in Melbourne. A chance of rain and the high only getting up to 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, folks, I'll be back in just a bit, actually race 5A, to take a look at the 2-year-old filly stakes race, the Sweet Embrace. I'll see you then. Hey folks, Bob Seifert back with you to break down race 5A, the Sweet Embrace Stakes. This is a stakes race for 2-year-old fillies, 6 furlongs in distance and set weights. You're looking at this card, you're going to see not a lot of form to go by. So when you're in these early 2-year-old races, I like to go by breeding, and that is precisely what I've done. I put number 2, Polaway, up on top. It's a Giants Causeway filly. It's out of a sensational Golden Slipper winner. This mare that's also won a slew of other 2-year-old stakes. 5-1 on number 2, I'll put it on top. In my second spot, I put number 9, Esty. Another Wrigley bred, this one by Reduced Choice, out of Tycoon Lil, who won the Cadbury Guineas and the New Zealand Oaks. Number 9 is a 10-1. We'll put that one in the second spot. And finally, number 1, Sarthamar, winner of the Black Opal Stakes. It's sired by the same sire as Kentucky Derby winner Street Sense, that's right, Street Cry, who has done exceptionally well as a shuttle stallion down in Australia. 20-1 on that one. We'll go with 291 in the 2-year-old filly stakes race. And folks, I'll be back in just a bit. Hello folks, and welcome to Race 7A, the feature race of the night, the first leg of the Sydney Triple Crown. That's right, the Randwick Guineas. Now this is a Group 1 race, 1 mile in distance, set weights, and as the name implies, the Guineas, it is for 3-year-olds. Well folks, hold on to your hats. If you don't have a hat, go get a hat, then you can hold on to it. We have a field of 17 carded to run in this race, and we have one overwhelming favorite. That's right, Weekend Hustler, number 1 is 4-6 odds. If you know anything about the way I handicap, love favorites, hate favorites when there's 17 runners. So we've got Weekend Hustler, who's perhaps the best 3-year-old in all of Australia right now. He's going for his 5th Group 1 race. He's undefeated with Raw Willer aboard, but I really didn't like his mile effort back in November in the Emirates. I'm going to try to beat him. You got 16 other options to beat him today, so folks, what I'm going to do is try to put them on top of him because I can't discount what a great runner he is. But just hope he stumbles somehow. Maybe bet these horses to win. Maybe, as I said, just wheel them on top of Weekend Hustler on top of themselves. The first one I'm going with is number 2, Marching. Won the AAMI Vaz Stakes back in October. 3rd in the Victoria Derby and the Caulfield Guineas. 2nd in the Canterbury Guineas. These are all tremendous races for 3-year-olds. He's very consistent. It was just held off last race out. We'll put number 2 there on top. My second pick to put on top of Weekend Hustler is number 13, Arlington. And along with Guillotine, who's also in this race, Arlington ran against older, more accomplished horses in the mile Chipping Norton Stakes last out. Both these horses, Guillotine and Arlington, only 4 lengths off. I think I'll put Arlington in there out of a stakes-winning mare that produced Cox Plate winner Savabeel, who was also 3-year-olds when he won the Cox Plate. At 20-1, we'll put the 13 in there. I also went with number 3, Triple Honor. Was at top form prior to the EI outbreak. Unable to hold on in the $1 million Golden Rose last out at 7 furlongs. But I think that the early speed may say a lot in this field of closers, and he's got that early speed. And finally, speaking of closers, number 11, Largo Lad, which is a huge colt, standing 17 hands tall, has not hit the board in his last 3 outs, but hasn't been more than 2 lengths off. He's a huge closer. When I mean huge closer, I mean both physically and ability-wise he can close. So we're going to go with number 2, number 13, number 3, and number 11. I'm not saying all these 4 are going to hit like that. I really think Weekend Hustler is tremendous talent, but we're going to put those on top of Weekend Hustler, perhaps even sprinkle him in or pepper him in, if you will, in the exotics. Folks, that's it for me. Here's for a great Randwick Guineas. We'll see you next time.